She was actually quite rude during that particular call. Another call that took place ended up with a swearing match. The swearing match, well, from my point of view, was totally unintentional, but because of stress at the time, actually caused me to go into a situation of coprolia. The manager in that particular point in time actually told me to quite clearly fuck off, that I was stupid, and to get lost. Actually, to be quite honest with you, most people who know me actually know me as fairly intelligent. So you can't say that I'm stupid. To be stupid, you must have an IQ of less than 70. My IQ is actually 142, which is far from being stupid. To tell me to fuck off was quite offensive towards me, and I consider that abusive towards me. What have BT done about it? Nothing. They haven't even replied to it. We carry on with the letter. Such calls will not be tolerated by BT, so I presume they're not going to tolerate their own calls. And for the purposes of this letter, the purposes of this letter is to make you aware of BT's position and the action that will be taken if there are any further instances. Right. Instances. What do they mean by instances? BT provides you with telephone services in accordance with its standards terms. No, BT provides me extremely poor telephone services in relation to being ripped off. The condition of the contract states, you must not use the service or allow the service to be used to make offensive, indecent, menacing, nuisance or hoax calls or cause annoyance, inconvenience or needless anxiety. Well, let's go through this a little bit. So the contract, doesn't this contract apply both ways? Firstly, I took the manager's comments as quite offensive, quite indecent. I don't know about menacing. I didn't see him as menacing at all. I would have said it was a nuisance. It wasn't an hoax call. It did cause me quite a lot of annoyance. BT have caused me quite considerable inconvenience and definitely needless anxiety. Anyway, carries on. We take these types of misuse very seriously, and you agree to take all reasonable steps to make sure it doesn't happen. Well, excuse me, we can't take reasonable steps to make sure it doesn't happen. If I swear, I swear. If somebody deems that to be abusive, considering that BT are fully aware that I suffer with coprolia, anything where they make a comment in relation to it can only be seen as discrimination. It goes on to say, you have advised BT that you have the condition coprolia, which we are sorry to hear. Sorry to hear? What does it mean by sorry to hear? Sorry to hear about it? Or sorry that I've got it? Or, you know, anyway. So they're sorry about my condition. Well, I'm not sorry about my condition. I live quite well with it. Anyway, it says, therefore, to prevent any further occurrences and for the welfare of our employees, what about my welfare? Would it have been better that when I had the problem originally was to actually deal with the problem? Then we wouldn't have got to this. Wouldn't it be better to resolve the problem now before it goes to court? Or do BT just think they're so big and so powerful that I won't do anything? One thing about putting something on YouTube is the first thing you're going to do is contact the TV companies and they'll actually see the video themselves. Then I'll have publicity behind it. I'm not exactly short of money. So, you know, I think I like to make a point now and again. And on this particular occasion, I'm going to make a point. And excuse me, my phone is ringing, so I'll stop this particular recording at this point. Steve back from BadBizUK on YouTube and www.badbiz.co.uk. Part 3 of the complaint in relation to BT. I was actually talking about the letter, and it says where it advised me that I suffer from the condition of coprolia, which they're sorry to hear. Therefore, to prevent any further occurrences and for the welfare of our employees, we must request that any further or should I say future communication you have with BT should be carried out by a member of your family or friend on your behalf. Well, as you can see, I'm on my own. That means I've got no family around me. I choose to be like that. Yeah. Friends, I don't give them my problems. If I was to have to give them my problems, especially in relation to BT, I would be wasting somebody else calling for 81 times and getting nowhere. Right? So, it goes round. So I wouldn't put that on anybody else other than myself. Right? My bills are my problem, they're not anybody else's problem. In relation to the bills, it's not like BT hasn't been paid, they've been paid on every occasion. I haven't withheld payments or done anything like that because otherwise it just gets stupid. Right, anyway. So they're now demanding that I don't call them. So I don't have the same rights as other individuals because I suffer with coprolia. There is discrimination. Now it goes on to say a further option would be to make contact with BT in writing. I've actually done that on 3 occasions and never got a response. Right? Hence the reason why I call them. At least I do get a response, whether it's good or bad or indifferent, I actually get a response from them. Anyway, he goes on to say a further option would be make contact with BT in writing, and in this case this can be done electronically by logging on to www.bt.com and clicking on the Contact Us tab. The online service to ask a question is available. Can I have my money back? Did you say that question? I didn't see it. Anyway, browse the library of links. Yeah, like I want to spend hours and hours clicking on link after link after link, which only takes you around in a circle. It's kind of crazy. I have to send comments via email. I've tried to do this. When I put my account number in their email system, it actually blocks me from sending them. So it leaves me the address to send written correspondence to, which, as I said, don't respond to any correspondence. That is BT PLC, Correspondence Centre Durham, DH98 1BT. This is please quote your BT account number, telephone number and address on all correspondence. I do know how to write a letter, BT. Anyway, it goes on to say, during our investigation we found a latest call to BT involved the intimidation of an Indian BT advisor, which again BT will not tolerate. So are they trying to say there's 2 instances here? I'm not quite sure. Right, anyway, let's look at intimidation of the BT advisor, right, which BT will not tolerate. The word of intimidation, I'll just Google it while we're actually talking here. Right, as far as I was aware, is in relation to somebody being frightened. So I'm just going to type it in. Intimidation is also called is international behaviour, or sorry, intentional behaviour, might just reading there, which would cause a person of ordinary sensibilities fear or injury or harm. It's not necessary to prove that the behaviour was so violent as to cause terror, or that the victim was actually frightened. So I would take it that this call centre guy over in India there was actually frightened. Frightened of what? Frightened of me making a complaint about it? Frightened of me producing a YouTube video? I don't know what he was frightened of, but I'm certainly not going to be booking a flight out to India, scouring the countryside to find BT's call centre to find out this individual, which I don't even know his name of because BT haven't put it in the letter. Right, so I'm not going to be making any physical threats, and actually, quite honestly, I'm far from being very physical with anybody because